Are you ready to move to one of Colorado's fastest moving towns? Well, we've been talking about it a lot on the channel. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the brand new communities right here in Erie, Colorado. This one's all about Parkdale. All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. This is Living in Colorado. We are today diving into yet another one of the brand new communities right here in Erie, Colorado. This one is Parkdale. We got a chance to walk through a couple of the model homes, and I think you're gonna absolutely love it. All right, before we dive any further into checking out Parkdale, I love making these videos, but if you need help or you know anyone who needs help, I am a licensed realtor. Give me a call right here or visit my website. Now, without any further ado, let's dive into it. Now, the great thing about Parkdale, it is right here in Erie. It's a master built community like the rest of them. It's gonna have a community center. It's got the whole 9 yards, but just like everything else I've covered about Erie, it's gonna have a nice mix of luxury and affordability, great school system, and really close to both Denver and Boulder for your amenities. So it's a great spot. I actually really like what they're doing with some of these floor plans, and I think you're gonna like them too. Now, Parkdale is gonna have multiple builders in it. It is another master built, master planned community, which is kind of the way that they're all going right now. Now, the price ranges for Parkdale are going to start anywhere between the high fives and go all the way up to the 800s or higher. Now, right now, as it stands, there's about 800 home sites that are planned, both between townhomes and single family homes. It has multiple builders, like I said, Lennar, Richmond American, and I believe Century Communities as well is in there. A lot of variety and a lot of different floor plans. Now, where is Parkdale? Now, if you're familiar with Erie and you know where our Erie Airport is, now the Parkdale community is gonna be directly west of the Erie Airport, pretty much just a little bit further west of County Line and then north of Baseline or County Road 7 near the airport. Now, the great thing about that is it is on that Boulder side of Erie. So if you are commuting into Boulder or need access to US 36 or anything like that in that area, Lafayette, Firestone, Superior, super easy access. Also, still not that far and an easy shot to get over to I-25 if you're going north or south. Great location, and it's got some spectacular views of the mountains, which is what I absolutely love about the area. Now, like I said, the home prices are going to start anywhere between the high fives going all the way up to the 800s or above. There's a lot of builders, and with that, they have a lot of different options. Now, one thing I always caution people, if you are working directly through the builder, definitely still get a real estate agent because they like to push you through things without getting it inspected, but definitely get someone to help represent you. But more to my point, they're going to take you at some point into that design studio where you can select a whole bunch of upgrades, and that is fine, but there's some upgrades that might be more cost effective to do on your own after the build. So do your research on that because that can add a significant, and I mean significant, multi-$1,000 price tag to your base level home. So if you're doing something like that, just be careful in that design studio. And again, I always recommend completely having representation there who doesn't work directly for the builder. All of the sales reps I've worked with are great. They're honest people, but at the end of the day, they're working for the builder, not for you. So get someone on your team. Now, HOA and metro districts. Right now, from what I could find, HOA fee is around $80 a month. You're gonna wanna do your own research on that as well, but it does lie in a metro district. Now, we'll do a whole video on metro district, but what that basically is, it's an additional tax that helps cover the neighborhood itself for both improvements, utilities, initial install, and things like that. Kind of like a second HOA fee in a way. So metro districts are a really big deal here in Colorado, and they can add some significant cost to your overall purchase and longevity of the home. So I'll do a whole nother video on metro districts, but just be aware it isn't a metro district, and so there are some additional fees associated. Now let's talk about the neighborhood itself. Like I said, there's about 800 home sites that are currently planned and under construction. So they're also planning a future clubhouse, which I believe might already be under construction. They have over 70 acres of open space, parks, 3 miles of trails. So a lot going on to kind of be able to get you outside and enjoy the amenities without even leaving your neighborhood. So overall, a great setup. Now, I love what builders are doing now in basically this modern era of the 2020s. Where I grew up, there was parks and stuff like that as well, but now they're master planning and master building all of those parks and trails right into the community. And so everywhere you go, there's a park on every third corner with a playground, a trail, walking trails for your dogs, for your bikes. It's just so much more accessible than the neighborhoods that were built back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Now, I'm not knocking those neighborhoods neighborhoods. I grew up in them and I love them, but now we're just seeing a lot more integration of those overall master planned parks versus kind of the cost cutting things that we saw between the 70s and 80s. One thing that we do know about Erie is because it does straddle the county line, depending on where you're at, you could either be part of the St. Vrain Valley School District, which is a fantastic school district, or if you are on the west side of town, you're going to be part of the Boulder Valley School District. Now, Boulder Valley, also fantastic school district. Now, the closest high school right now to the Parkdale neighborhood is going to be Centaurus High School. The elementary school is Sanchez Elementary and Angie Vine Middle School. Now, that is what is there right now. With all new developments, usually new schools pop up as well. I didn't do the research on if there's new schools being put in, so that is what I was able to pull up just on public record right now. But Centaurus is a great high school as well, and pretty much all of the schools in the Boulder Valley School District are really top notch. But again, do your own research, because I know for me at least, schools and things like that, since I have school age kids, are a big deal. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about all of our neighborhoods in Colorado is you get to enjoy Colorado. Now, Parkdale and its location within Erie is absolutely fantastic, and it's because it's close to a couple of amenities that I personally really like. Now, the first one is Thomas Reservoir. Now, Thomas Reservoir, it's not that big of an overall lake, but it is a nice spot with a great trail around it that you can go and do a couple laps, get some miles in, walk your dog, go fishing. You could even potentially go out there and do some bird watching. It's a great spot. So Thomas Reservoir is just a couple minutes away, and so is Erie Lake. Now, Lake Erie or Erie Lake, whatever you want to call it, they have a huge spot where they do balloon launches. So if you're someone who likes hot air balloons, which is something Erie is famous for, that is a spot that's just within a few minutes of Parkdale that you can go watch the balloon launches. Additionally, I am an aviation guy, have a background in the Air Force flying airplanes. I love the fact that the Erie Airport is just across the way. So you can watch airplanes taking off and landing all day long. We're not talking jets, we're talking little single engine propeller airplanes most of the time, and I love it. Now, that is something that if you don't love, you're gonna definitely wanna take a look at Erie as a whole, because Erie has two airports within just about 5 or 6 miles of each other and a lot of air traffic. Additionally, Rocky Mountain Metro Airport is a little bit south, so the airspace over Erie is quite busy. So if you don't like little airplanes, Erie is not the place for you. It is a very aviation friendly town, so just be cognizant of that. Myself, I love it, and I could watch airplanes all day long, and I love the fact that the airport's right there. So as I'm driving up and down the street, I can look up or look over and see an airplane going by. Wanika Lake Park is also very close. Again, it has a great trail around the entire park. In fact, the Audubon Society has a garden and a little shed at the north side where they can teach you all about birds. There's a fantastic family playground and park on the south side with all sorts of good picnic areas and a boathouse, restrooms, you name it. It's a great spot. We love it. In fact, some of the local track and field programs from the schools go out there and do some of their practices around the lake. Great spot to go fishing as well. A lot of little trout and crappie, things like that. So really nice little park. So if you're looking for places to walk, run, do a bike ride, take your dog, there's a lot really close to the Parkdale neighborhood. Now, again, we've been talking about Erie a lot on this channel lately, but I'm going to hit it one more time. One of my favorite things in Erie is Erie Biscuit Day. Now, that is just one of those things I love. I love biscuits and gravy. I love biscuits, you name it. So Erie Biscuit Day is a fantastic one. But aside from that, Erie is really good at doing community events. They shut down Briggs Street, which is Main Street in Erie, and they have music festivals, farmers markets. They do Boo on Briggs, which is a trick-or-treating event. All the time, there's something going on downtown in Erie all year round. On top of that, in Erie, in Coal Creek or Coal Miner Park, I can't remember the name, I think it might be Coal Creek Park, they have a splash pad in the summer, a really nice playground, and they take that splash pad in the winter and take out all of the infrastructure on it, put up ice skating boards, fill it with water, and you have an ice skating rink in the winter where they both rent out skates and let you do things right there. Right now, it is just a great spot. I love it. They've got a great ice cream shop downtown. They've got a couple of bars that have both microbrew stuff and a cidery, great restaurants. It's a fun little town, and it's basically exactly what I like, which is it's got that old town feel with some modern amenities and great restaurants and food. Now, on top of that, I keep hammering on Erie because Erie is the town we're talking about, but I don't want to leave out Lafayette, which is just down the road. They do all of the same type of stuff. They've got a ton of public festivals, and in fact, in Lafayette, they have the Peach Festival in the fall where they bring in peaches from Palisade. It's a great time, big street fair. It's a ton of fun. So the area is just packed full of a bunch of really, really fun events all year round, and it's just got a really nice community feel to it. But the best part is it's still got a little bit of that country vibe. You look out to the west, you see the mountains, and you still feel like you've got that Colorado vibe and you're not completely surrounded by just urban development, which is something that I appreciate because I kind of want that country feel more than that urban city feel. So we're talking about some of the restaurants now. I mentioned a couple. The Old Mine is one of my favorites. That is the cidery downtown in Erie. I also love Sweets, which is the ice cream shop, and 24 Karat Bistro, which is a fantastic high-end restaurant. But my personal favorite in Erie is Lucille's. They have 3 locations, one in Boulder, one in Longmont, and one in Erie. It is a Creole cafe. They do breakfast, and we were talking about biscuits and gravy earlier. It's called the Carlin County, and it is a biscuit that is the size of the plate with spicy gravy on it. They'll give it to you with red beans and rice and grits. It's a southern treat that is kind of rare to find up here in the mid-north of Colorado. I love it. You guys should go. They're not paying me to say it. I just love their food. Now in Lafayette, they've got the Post Chicken and Beer, great spot, and they also have the Community Supper Club, which is a farm-to-table restaurant experience. It is fantastic. You guys got to give it a try. But there's so many other places I didn't mention, just a lot of those small town hole-in-the-wall type of places that don't get a lot of notoriety, but are amazing, and that is what I love about these old Main Street type of districts, is you just never know what you're gonna find. All right, let's talk about the pros and cons if you decide that you want Parkdale to be your home. So the pros, it's new construction. You get that new house smell, new house feel, and you get all of the amenities. That is great because anybody who has ever moved into an old house, you know, no matter how good that inspection is, there's a project waiting the second that you sign that dotted line that is just gonna rear its head once the inspection is complete and all the money is transferred hands. I know that firsthand, and so do you. So new construction, which is great. That being said, new construction is the same way, so sorry, it's just any house is gonna have a project. But new construction, which is great, and you'll have all the amenities, the nice new floor plans and everything like that. On top of that, you get the new community with the new clubhouse, the new trails, the new parks, and just that nice vibe. New communities just have a really nice clean look to them, and I love it. It's something that I think most people appreciate as well, is just how nice those new communities look, especially that first 5 to 7 years where everything is just like really on point, looking great. Now the location, conveniently located between Denver, Boulder, Lafayette, right on the edge of Erie. Fantastic location. You can't beat it. Commuting into Boulder, super easy. Getting onto I-25 and heading down to Denver, super easy. It is a really, really convenient spot. And amenities, like I said, you got the clubhouse, you got the trails, you got the parks, and you have just the close proximity to downtown Erie, Lafayette, so you can kind of take the best of both towns and smash it into one convenient location for yourself. Now the cons, let's talk about that. They have an HOA, which can be a good and a bad thing. Good thing is it keeps everybody accountable, makes the neighborhood look nice. The bad thing is they can sometimes be unpredictable with what they're going to do with their rates. Right now, they're not too bad, but I know a lot of people don't like HOAs and some of their rules and regulations. Second thing, the Metro District. You lose a little bit of control because of the Metro District, and it's an additional fee. So if you're interested in that, we're going to do a whole nother video on Metro Districts, but it's just something you should Google and be aware of. Now 3, I just mentioned easy proximity and commute, but a negative one is also traffic. The only downside, and it's not Parkdale, it's just in general. If you are a commuter in any of these communities, most of the day you're going to be fine. But during rush hours, we're starting to see that all of the communities are getting a little bit tight on the roads because there used to be small little farm and coal mining towns that are now turning into these huge urban developments or suburban developments, and it hasn't really caught up yet. With progress will be change, and I'm sure that'll be addressed as the city planners continue to grow. But anyways, that is a quick look at our newest neighborhood right here in Erie, Colorado, which is Parkdale. Now, as always, I love making these videos and showing off our beautiful state. So if you are looking to make a move to Colorado, again, you can hit me up. My number is right there, or my website, greatlifecolorado.com. Until then, enjoy your life wherever you're at or right here in Colorado.